they say, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So there's a lot there, right? And if
Yeah. Maybe we can tell you about your soul as well.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Correction that I need something else. So if I'm short-sightedness, I'll just remove the glasses and it looks to see.
It makes me wish I needed glasses.
But
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another Tech Times exclusive. Today, we're speaking to, once again, Yariv Haddad from Deep Optics. Yariv, thank you very much for joining us today.
Hi, Chris. Great to be with you again. It's been a while, and it's been a nice ride. So we'd be happy to touch base.
Yeah, I'm so glad you came back, and I'm also very happy to hear how your product and your company has been, progressing over the last year or so, or whatever it was. It's really fun to talk to you again. First, let me congratulate you on the Time Best Inventions 2022 award. That's a big deal.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a big deal for us. It's an acknowledgement to what we do. We're very excited about it. When you're working on something for so long, it becomes a reality to you. But then we get a feeling from feedback that we're getting of users of the product, of people who've heard of the product, and now from reporters such as this list of Time magazine that, yeah, we get a reminder on just how disruptive, just how innovative this product and this approach is. And we're excited to be on that list, and we're just focusing on making this a reality.
Yeah, I think you're getting closer and closer. To me, it's still surprising for me that in this day and age, there are still incredible inventions like what you guys had, right? You would imagine, at this point, everything would have been invented already.
In a sense, I think that's what we're saying about the glasses, because you see it with pretty much everything else. You see it with headphones, you see it with watches, you see it with phones. And then when you look at glasses, they're basically the same as they were a few hundred years ago, and even more than that. So, I mean, they're basically lenses made of plastic or glass, and you could have got very similar functioning glasses a few hundred years back. So they might have not been processed the same, and maybe sometimes they would be not in the same quality, but eventually, fundamentally, it was the same device. And what we're saying is that it's time that eyewear had gone through the same revolution as all the other fields of cars and navigation, and yeah, everything basically in our lives had shifted significantly, and it hasn't been the case with glasses so far. So we're definitely here to change that.
Okay, yeah, it's I think it's maybe definitely an untapped market for automation, because basically, right, for the viewers with us today that haven't watched our first conversation, maybe give a really brief explanation, and if they're still curious, they can always go back to the other one where you explained it in more detail. But just kind of give us like the lowdown on the Deep Optics, the 32 degrees north, and exactly what you guys are doing.
Yeah, so fundamentally what Deep Optics is doing is we're saying we're bringing the dynamic dimension of glasses to users. So basically, our human vision is a very complex system, right? It involves the eyes, it involves the brain. The eye contains several lenses, our cornea, and then our inner lens. And we have an internal focus focusing mechanism that we're unaware of. So when we're looking at something, we're just focusing to that thing, just like an autofocus camera would. But then we don't feel it. It just happens naturally. And then when we grow older, this focusing functionality degrades, deteriorates, and over time we're losing that capability. So what deep optics is doing is developing a lens that can do the same. It can change its focus, right? So it can be used for different prescriptions or different powers of optics dynamically. Mm-hmm. And when we put that into our glasses, what we are aiming to achieve is for you to experience the same experience that you are used to when you were younger. If today people are wearing bifocals or multifocals progressives, they need to shift their gaze to different areas of the lens. If they want to see for close distance or for far distance, they need to look to a different area of the lens. Whereas in our case, we're saying the lens should adapt to you rather than you are adapting to a new vision experience. Right. So our technology is focused on lenses that can dynamically change. And the way we implement it is through liquid crystal, which is a special kind of material that changes its optical behavior or characteristics when you apply different voltages to it, when you apply an electrical power to it. And of course, a very small one, right? It's with a battery smaller than headphones in a sense. So when you wear lenses with our technology, for example, with 32 North, our first product, these lenses would be able to change depending on the distance that you're looking at. If you're looking at a very close distance, you would swipe your temple of the glasses, and that would change to the focal distance that you're looking at. And then you can, for example, tune it to have two profiles, right? If you're looking at a closer object or an intermediate object, you could program your glasses to change between different prescriptions. And when we look a bit further into the future, that would be changed automatically as well to completely restore that experience that I described. So if you look at something, it would just be in focus and you wouldn't have to worry about how that happened.
Okay, so yeah, basically that would eliminate the need for bifocals. The whole, like, you see a lot of times, people, they do this type thing, like over the glasses to, yeah. So this is
exactly.
You're shooting for, this is a thing of the past.
Exactly. I mean, conventional glasses are very good for people that need static corrections. So for younger people that have the focusing capability, they might be myopic short-sightedness or hyperopic long-sighted. And that can be compensated for with regular glasses. But then with older people, you need to have different corrections for different distances. And that is depending on what you're looking at. That has a dynamic nature to it. So when they do this, they basically say, okay, this correction is now not the right correction that I need. I need something else. So if I'm short-sightedness, I'll just remove the glasses and be able to see. But if I'm far-sighted, I wouldn't be able to even do that. So I would need two different corrections like bifocals or progressives. Right. But then again, you'd have to look through different parts of the lens. And what we do is we say, okay, this lens, this liquid crystal lens should be your, let's say, bionic dynamic lens that would change for you instead of you having to look through different areas of static lens.
Right. I think you nailed it with the term bionic, right? Like, it's just, it's the automatic, the automatic adjustment for you. Like, it removes that entire thing where, I think ever since the invention of the bifocal, or even just, the corrective lenses, this has been something, that people struggle with. And yeah, it's exciting, man. It's really, really exciting to see this. I can imagine in the future, it'll just be like, I don't need corrective lenses, thankfully. But I'm sure one day I will. I think I read on your website, like around 45, right? Like that's when people start really, struggling.
Noticing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because our inner lens basically deteriorates over time, loses its flexibility, loses its capability to focus. Its capability is quite impressive and quite strong when we're young. So even if it is only 20 or 30% of what it could be when we were younger, that's still okay for us. But once we're not able to focus to a mobile phone, that's where we're starting to notice it, or not able to read a book, that's where we're starting to notice it. And that's when we need these reading glasses if we didn't need glasses at all before.
Right.
Or if we did need glasses, then now we need bifocals or progressives. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good. I'm excited. It may sound crazy, but like I am a little excited because then maybe I can like get some, some of your guys' glasses.
Yeah, I mean that's the good news about it. I mean, we're always saying that no one escapes it. It's not it's 100% of the people when they reach this age, they need correction. So it might not be at 45 because they're able to push it to 50, but that's something that you eventually need to do, to have some aid for reading, or
especially, I mean,
different
distances.
distances.
If you compare the natural process to the way now that society has shifted to where screen time has increased, like, I can imagine. And
there are actually studies. Yeah, there are actually studies that show that this has been made worse with screen time. Actually, not necessarily presbyopia, which is the condition that we're talking about for older eye, but actually myopia, short-sightedness. There is a connection between the rise of the displays or the screen time and the myopia progression. I'm not sure there's a one or distinct reason, but there's a correlation, and that could be because people are not exposed to the sun as they used to be, which is important for eyesight, or if they are looking at closer objects, which is not a natural thing. So there are several hypotheses, but fundamentally, yes, there is a connection between screen time and eyesight quality.
Yeah, well, let's see. So you're here today because you have a couple big announcements, I think, for people that are maybe following Deep Optics and that need it. I understand you have started the process this month of actually getting these glasses out to the public.
So yeah, last time when we talked, we basically announced 32 North, which is sunglasses that switch to reading glasses, sunglasses with no far vision correction, just plain sunglasses like you and I would buy, but then when you swipe it, it becomes reading glasses. So we announced it last time we talked. I think it was in 2021, and that was quite long ago. And at the time, we were we launched a Kickstarter campaign where we described the product, and when we received a lot of backing from approximately 1,200 people that believed in it, that was excited by it and supported it by ordering these glasses. But like I said, it was on paper at the time. We did have the lenses functioning. We did have a lot of experience and proof that the technology works, but the product itself was not ready yet. And then what we did since was completed to design it. We produced samples. We tested the samples. We distributed them to beta testers. We collected a lot of feedback. We improved the product. And last year, we started shipping the glasses to these Kickstarter backers. We had 1,200 orders. We fulfilled about 200 of them so far. And again, we started with people that were interested in getting the first ones and provide us with more feedback. And we're improving the product as we go. And right now what we're doing is we're completing the fulfillment of these orders. We ramped up production. We have now production capabilities to support these orders. And we now opened our online store, 32northglasses.com, where people can now order the glasses. That's the news. They can, as of last month, they can order the glasses and they can receive them starting in the summer, July.
Oh wow, nice.
So yeah, big thing.
Yeah, big thing. The last time we talked, yeah, you were talking about, target dates and, uh, future
Yeah,
plans, and
I
here we
mean,
are.
yeah, we have like I have.
Oh, nice.
This is the transparent part. Yeah, that was actually a request made by backers on the Kickstarter. They said they like they like the idea that there's technology inside, and they say why don't you guys make it transparent? So yeah, I'm trying to. So that's a transparent frame. That's the black frame, and like you can see,
Mm. Oh
these
wow.
exist, and they look like regular sunglasses. They don't. I mean, with all the technology inside, you could expect that this would be more clumsy or
Hmm.
um, heavy or thick, but we were really serious about putting this into the form factor of casual and stylish sunglasses.
Yeah, they're definitely yeah, I mean, you would imagine, like, for example, like the first okay, so I'll use electric cars for an example, right? The first electric cars, not very appealing, right? Like
Yeah,
it's like,
depending. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
in comparison to where we
indeed,
are now.
exactly.
Yeah, so those glasses,
I think,
I
yeah, I
feel
think the
like you.
difference. I think the difference is, yeah. Sorry,
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, no. I think what we were very aware of is that glasses and sunglasses is something you wear on your face. So there's no way you would compromise how it looks. Unlike a car or unlike a phone or a computer that you're saying, okay, that gives me value, so I don't mind if it's a bit heavier or
Mhm.
a bit bulkier. Um, that can't be the case with glasses. For example, in very similar products to us, like augmented reality or virtual reality, if you're wearing it in the office or for a certain job that you're doing, I don't know, in a warehouse or in the office or I don't know, customer support or something that this display helps you, that's a different thing. But these are all day glasses. These are glasses that you're walking outside with or going to the beach or sitting at a coffee place, and you wouldn't want to compromise the aesthetics of it. So that was very important for us to really miniaturize all this technology to something that doesn't really shout out, this is a special kind of glasses. So anyone looking at you, I mean, I'm not talking about the transparent one, which would
Right.
definitely be
Yeah,
a
yeah.
conversation piece, but yeah, I mean, they need to be part of what you want to express aesthetically as well.
Okay, so some good feedback from the Kickstarter backers actually prompted the production of the transparent ones.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, is there any other
And yeah,
feedback
we have
that you?
about 20% of the people requesting it, which yeah, that was very surprising. Again, this is the kind of thing I mentioned before. We're used to seeing technology all the time. So in a sense, we wanted to hide the technology under the hood, but then a lot of people said, look, this is an innovative product. This is a special um, type of glasses, and we'd like to show it off, not necessarily to hide it. So yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, it's, yeah, definitely a conversation piece, and I mean that's they've really it's a form of advertising, honestly, right? Like, you see this on vacation, it's like, oh wow, are
Yeah,
those? And it's like, oh yeah, these are,
yeah.
look, it does this, and then so you have roughly 1,200 marketers out in the world.
Ambassadors.
Ambassadors, yeah, ambassadors. Yeah.
Indeed, yeah, yeah. That was a key reason for us to get into this world through
Mm.
Kickstarter, because Kickstarter backers are typically early adopters. They're fascinated about technology. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to experiment with new things, and they're very much involved. They're sending their feedback. They're And this feedback was made during the campaign. So when the campaign was still there, they suggested it, and we were able to respond to it. But there's a lot of feedback after they're getting the glasses, and they say, look, I have different prescriptions in my two eyes, and I need to be able to use the app to set different prescriptions. You cannot do that with regular glasses, obviously, but you can do it with these glasses. So why don't you guys have this available on the app? That, I mean, for example, right? Or maybe suggestions to an additional size, because this size might not be suitable for everyone. So we are planning to offer additional sizes later this year. This kind of feedback is, we basically have 1,200 partners. They're doing the marketing, they're doing the design, they're giving us great advice on a lot of things. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very exciting, I think, and it's great. It's great, you know, in that you build a community, right, through the Kickstarter, and now you have there's a sense of pride, I'm sure, among the Kickstarter backers. It's like, you know, we were the first in on this. Like, look, and I do want to say to the viewers, if I would imagine if you see someone in the wild with the see-through, I would say feel comfortable asking about the glasses, because I feel like it's obvious that they want to talk about these.
I agree. It's like you said, a conversation piece. It's inviting you to inquire, and I think this is the kind of involvement that we were hoping to get from people joining us this early at this early stage. Being there to provide the feedback on the functionality, but also telling everybody about it.
Right.
I think it's the best way to because this is it's not just a new product, it's a new approach to how people are using glasses. And with glasses especially, unlike other products, the visual experience, the personal experience is what makes it is the key experience. I mean, if you're reviewing a phone, or if you're reviewing some tech device, you can show how it looks like, you can show how it behaves, you can take screenshots. But then with glasses, you need to, this is your vision, this is your personal experience. And the best way to promote such a product is to have someone that actually experienced it basically tell you about it, or share their experience with the people around it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can imagine. It's especially something like this. I know I have, you know, of course, friends and family that have corrective lenses. You know, some have gone as far, you know, to have surgery to remove this aspect of their lives that can be so troublesome, whereas you guys are you know, stepping in and kind of making this much easier to navigate, right? So but yeah, it's a very, very interesting, and yeah, like I said, I it puts me in this weird place in my mind, because it makes me wish I needed glasses. Like, I want a pair.
That makes me that makes me happy, because I mean, this is actually been it's very interesting you're saying that, because this has been one of our key concepts when we started. We're saying, don't let life stop you from living.
Right.
And we basically say, look, getting older, okay, I'm at the age where I have my own 32 North, and I'm using it because I need it.
Right.
But at the time, wearing bifocals was considered a signal of being older, where now this is an exciting event. Like you've earned your 32 North, you've earned your privilege to use this exciting tech. So to us, we want to do a paradigm shift here. We're saying, look, you've earned your stripes, right? You're now at a stage where you can use this exciting product. And this is the kind of relation that we want people to have about this glasses. We want them to want it. We want this to be desirable, not to be something that eventually you need but you don't want. That's exactly the thing that we were targeting from day one. And your response is very encouraging to me, because at least on one person we know
Yeah.
this has come across.
Oh yeah. You definitely have a future customer in me for sure. When the time comes, I will be on that website looking for. Yeah, I'm not decided yet if I want the black ones or the transparent ones, but I think I have a few years to decide, so shouldn't be a problem when the time comes.
Maybe then there'll be more colors. Yeah, there are already more colors, so you'll have to make your mind by then. And I think what makes it, I mean, part of our vision is, again, to make this full revolution of glasses becoming part of your electronic environment. So the app does provide you and will provide you more and more stats. So, for example, it'll be able to count the time for you. Like you have screen time, you can have reading time. Okay, how long did I use it during the day? How long was I reading for? What are the periods of times that I was reading? What hours was I reading or using the reading functionality? And a lot more stats about using the. I mean, that's the advantage of having this kind of connectivity and sensors in the glasses, so they can basically provide you with insights about how you're using them, and eventually how your vision is being used, if I would say that this way, how you're seeing during the day.
Right. That's
or during the period of time.
Yeah, for someone like me, I love things like that, right? Statistics, like how long, and this kind of comes into life as it's really because like I would love to know like my idle time, right? Like I don't do it much, trust me, not as much as I would like to, but like how much time do I spend staring off into space, right? And then you see like, damn, I spent 2 hours this week just staring at the wall, right? Like no eye movement, maybe something that it tracks with no pupil dilation, and then you could say, wow, yeah, I spent, I'm sure some people, but yeah, just something like that, right? Like you said, how long have I read? So obviously it can pick up the movement of the eyes. It knows that you're reading or, staring or, yeah.
So yeah, I was describing before products that are in the pipe and that are not yet ready to commercialize, but these do use eye tracking, so that we're able to tell from your eyes during usage the distance of interest, and then determine the magnification of the lens. But yeah, definitely once you have this kind of information, you could provide a lot of stats about how your eyes are behaving during the day, like idle time, for example. And there's even more fascinating stuff, because you can tell by certain patterns of eye movement during the day, even more deeper health issues, because eyes movement have like natural patterns, and then they do. There are a lot of researches out there correlating between eye movement and all kinds of conditions, if it's tiredness or if it's other not so healthy conditions that you can basically detect by having this kind of stats for the eyes. So there's a lot more to be discovered on how you can use your information, exactly like you use your information from your smartwatch or even the phone.
Yeah, well, they say, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So there's a lot there, right? And if
maybe we can tell you about your soul as well.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah, you need to, yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, but like you said, your eyes are representative of a lot of different things. Anywhere from excitement to being untruthful, right? Like it's all in the eyes. So, I mean, even just for an introspective, for me, introspection is a little more my style. Like, I want to know like what I should improve or change or doing. So, you know, I can imagine like if I have these glasses, right, and I've had a great day, then my excitement levels, you know, then it would track like, oh, I remember when I did this on this date, I really enjoyed that. I should probably do that again. Right. So I can imagine like the
Yeah,
youth
that
here is
I
just
mean,
phenomenal.
I agree. I agree. And I think we're at an era where we have a lot of new technologies converging into allowing exactly that. We have enormous computational capacity, and we have ways to deal with a lot of data. And now, what we see, our small part in this very big revolution, is another kind of information, another source of information about your health, about your well-being, simply by having to track the movement of your eyes during the day. You could have this data available to combine it with additional information that you collect with your different devices, and gather significant insights. So in that sense, we see ourselves as an additional source and a different source of information that is so far not collected.
Right. Exactly. That's the point. I think it's so far not collected, right? Like this is not available. The only thing we have is, you know, our personal un unquantifiable feelings. Whereas this would be a very quantifiable, you know, so you could just look at it and see like, oh, this is, and I mean,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And honest to God, I could talk about this with you all day, but we are kind of on a limit. So, but I do want to ask you, your first funding was in 2015.
Yeah.
How exciting is it to look back at roughly 8 years ago and see from the concept to now you're shipping this month? So, like, how does that feel?
Well, to be accurate, we started working on this in 2011.
Okay.
So that goes even farther back. The first serious funding was indeed in 2015.
Okay.
And at the time, in order to convince these first investors that this is something that would be worth for them to invest in, we built a prototype with a lens of you know, just like a tiny hole and a lot of electronics around it. And that was we said, okay, we can take this big PCB, like green like electronics that has a small hole in it that can change its focus. We can make that into glasses. And it took a lot of faith from us and from our investors at the time, to see how this could really progress into what we're shipping today. And yeah, we have in our offices this little small museum where we have different phases and different models and different prototypes. So from time to time, when you see it, you can learn about the path we took. But this is one of I think not very typical for a startup. We're a startup, and these kind of projects are typical to big companies with a lot of resources and a lot of patience. And usually for startups, they need to act fast, and they need to convert fast from idea to realization. And with these kind of technologies, which are, that's under the title of deep tech, that you have to develop the fundamentals and then build actual hardware and test it and iterate and optimize. So we're just happy that we had the right partners to support this kind of path, and now we have the new partners, which is the backers and then the customers of the glasses. So we're fortunate to be able to have the support over the time and then bring it to life.
Yeah, it's yeah, I'm sure I can imagine the, you know, it's almost like, you know, watching your children grow up, right? Like it's you've seen You know, it's
Yeah.
growing, it's changing, it's maturing, it's becoming, what you always wanted it to become. And yeah, it's exciting to watch. So please tell us where to go for the commercial side. What's the website?
The website is 32northglasses.com. 32 is 32. So 32northglasses.com.
Okay, yeah, we'll
That's
pop that
where
up.
we can. Perfect. That'd be perfect.
Okay, so yeah, so what can we expect? For example, you said July, I'm sorry. So if you order today, you can expect to receive by July.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, yeah, well, thank you, Yariv. It was really nice catching up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure, almost like last time.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, please, as always, the red carpet is here for yourself and Deep Optics. So feel free to come back and discuss, because I know that this technology and this company is going to continue to grow and progress and change. And I would love to hear about it from you personally, actually.
Thanks a lot, Chris. I'm sure that I'll be happy to come back here.
All right, fantastic.
Happy.
Thank you. All right, and for the viewers, go check out the website. Everything will be in the link in the description, or the links will be in the description, if not popped up here on the screen. And yeah, show some support. And do your research. And if you think these glasses are right for you, then I would definitely suggest making the investment and improving your quality of life. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.